Hello guys, good afternoon. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm here with day 26 of FSSI daily quiz. So if you haven't watched the previous 25 videos, you can go to my channel and in the playlist section, I have created a separate playlist called as FSSI quiz. From there you can get access to the previous quiz. And also the PDF format of all the quizzes has been uploaded in the Telegram channel. From there you can download it, and also the PDF format of all the classes of FSSA has been uploaded in the Telegram channel. From there you can get access to the all the PDFs. Okay, so before proceeding, if you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. So now let us start with the FSSA daily quiz of day 26. So silicates are used in food as, so silicates is one of the component that is used in the food as an agent. So which of the following is the answer? So the answer is anti-caking agents. So in my previous class video, I have explained completely regarding what are these thickeners, anti-caking agents, chelating agents, emulsifying agents. Everything has been explained there. So if you need more information on them, you can watch the class. But still, I'll try to explain some of them. So calcium silicate is used as an anti-caking agent added in table salt as it absorbs both water and oil. It absorbs both water and oil. So please remember this also. Anti-caking agents makes it easier to pack, transport, store, and consume these foods as they prevent lumps. So there won't be any presence of any lumps. So that is the major advantage of these silicates, which comes under anti-caking agents. So if you want to know other definitions of other terms also, you can watch my previous classes. Okay. Example of biological hazard. So which of the following is a biological hazard? Please give focus on this word biological hazard. So answer is salmonella. So you could have heard Salmonella typhi, which causes typhoid. Okay, so like this you can remember. So Salmonella typhi is the one which causes Salmonella. So so the example for biological hazard is Salmonella. Yes, dirt is also hazard. Cleaners, antibiotics, all of them are hazard if used in non-judicial way. But still, the question demands for biological hazard. So answer is Salmonella. pH of packaged drinking water shall be. So you would have used Bisleri or Kenley, any of the packaged drinking water. So the question is pH of packaged drinking water shall be. So usually the pH of water will be 7, neutral. Yeah, this is the neutral, right? So in today's class I have explained regarding pH test and all. So you can watch them if you need them. So my question is, which among the following can be the suitable range for drinking water? See, this is quite tough question because the range is almost close to each and everyone. So in these kind of questions we'll need more amount of conceptual knowledge. So if you have the conceptual knowledge, then only you can solve this, because you may think 6 to 8, but there is also closer range 6.5 to 7.5, and also 6.5 to 8, 6.5 to 8.5. So this is quite confusing for you all. So so the answer for this is, so the exact answer is 6.5 to 8.5. So please remember this. So this should be the pH of packaged drinking water. So it can't be outside this range. So that is the important point here. So 6.5 to 8.5. Okay. SPS under WTO standards. So this SPS is a huge headache for India because I have given this example in so many of my classes with respect to mango, because European Commission, sorry, European Union had rejected Indian mangoes because of this only, because it has stricter rules with respect to agro imports and all. So the answer is sanitary and phytosanitary measures. So phytosanitary is nothing but usage of fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, etc. So what is the amount of, and also the irradiation part, and also the substances which is used to increase the time, to decrease the time for ripening of the fruit. All these things will come under phytosanitary measures. So these are the example. Please remember this also. It may help you in other exams. So this due to this there was an allegation that India is using so many amount of these fertilizer and pesticides for growth of some of the agro components, and one of them is mango. So European Commission had banned the imports of mango from India, but still the case is pending in the WTO itself. So please remember this SPS is sanitary and phytosanitary measures. Okay. The next question is a long-range supersonic missile-assisted torpedo. A missile recently seen in use is related to which country? So I'll explain you what is torpedo. So assume this as a submarine. Okay. So in for an aeroplane, if this is an aeroplane, it will launch the missiles directly, right? So if it wants, it can launch the missile. But for an submarine, it needs to release the missile underwater. So the pressure of the water is very high. So it should penetrate through the pressure of the water. So which among the following which among the following will be able to do this is a torpedo. So torpedo is nothing but a water form of missile. So missile in a water form, a missile which can travel through the water is known as torpedo. So if you want to know more about this, you can watch Ghazi attack. So this is a film which was based on India-Pakistan submarine attack. So if you are free, then you can watch this movie Ghazi attack. It is available in Amazon and all. So there they have clearly shown what is torpedo and all. You can see that. So recently a smart missile SMART. This is the short form, and the full form is a long range supersonic missile assisted torpedo. So which of the following is country released it? So answer is India. So India was the India actually recently DRDO is being very active, and since from that we can say there are so many missiles that has been released and tested by DRDO. So it can be a important question for us. So India successfully tested fired a long-range supersonic missile-assisted torpedo of Balasore coast in Odisha. The weapon system is developed by DRDO. So remember this also. UNESCO has added Durga Puja. So you mark this as very very important. So not only for FSSI, every exam, this is very important, okay? UNESCO has added Durga Puja in Kolkata to its 2021 list of tangible cultural heritage. Now, intangible cultural heritage from India has increased to, see, I'll explain what is this intangible. So, tangible means which can be touched or felt, okay? So the basic meaning is touched for tangible. See, you can touch your books, you can touch your mobile, you can touch your pen. So these things can be touched, but there are some things that cannot be touched. So that cannot be touched. Okay, it can be just felt or experienced or can be seen. So, for example, Durga Puja. See, this Durga Puja is so much unique that it is conducted only in West Bengal, especially in Kolkata. And these things will not. This festival is not celebrated in any place all around the world. So many tourists and also people from different parts of the world attend this Durga Puja. So it is like intangible, where other parts of the country or the world cannot repeat this. So this is called as intangible part. So there are now. Before it was 13, now it has increased to 14. And please remember these 13 also, not only the number, the what are the names of these 13 of the intangible cultural heritage from India. And it is present in the UNESCO website also. I'll give you some examples like Vedas chanting, yoga, and brass and copper technology, like the production of these things using this in the Punjab region. Okay, and there are many other as I told, there are 13, totally 13. You need to remember all these things, and also some dance forms are also present, so please remember this. And in the world, the country which is having the highest number of intangible cultural heritage is China. So remember this also. So these are the quite important informations that you have got from this question. So it is not like only the 13 14 will be asked. There can be also direct question on the names also, and also Buddhist chanting. This is also present in the intangible list also. So you need to remember all these things. So it was increased to 14 now. TOPS scheme, which is an attempt to provide assistance to India's top athletes. So what does TOP stands for? So top is nothing but Target Olympic Podium Scheme. So it was mainly for podium. Podium is nothing but there will be only three places, right? One, two, three. So the target of this scheme is to reach Indians to this podium. So according to that, the name has been kept. So top scheme is related to the Target Olympic Podium Scheme. So totally 148 athletes, including 20 new inductees. This was in news because 20 new people were included. 20 new sportsmen were included in this scheme. That's why it was in news. So remember this also. So, which state Ascot Wildlife Sanctuary has been declared as Ascot Wildlife Sanctuary Eco-Sensitive Zone? So there is a wildlife sanctuary called as Ascot Wildlife Sanctuary. So you need to say from which state does this Ascot Wildlife Sanctuary belong to? So answer is Uttarakhand. So Ascot Wildlife Sanctuary or the Ascot Wildlife Eco-Sensitive Zone is present there. So according recently, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has declared some part of the Ascot Wildlife Sanctuary as eco-sensitive zone. So these were the today's quiz, guys. So if you like the video, please like it and share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.